Hi, Rob here. I'll make it better. That's what I do. I created, you can check down there, I created another YouTube channel for people, parents who are having kids with dyslexia. If you apply my approach that I developed, I work for all kinds of dyslexics across the board because I'm teaching people how to teach the kids to read the same way other people read. Most people don't know that. If you ask anyone who is an expert in the field of dyslexia, well, dyslexia is actually a memory problem. Most people don't know that. It has to have a neurological basis for something. Well, when you read, that's how your memory operates. If I ask people the question of what is 5 times 5, and I say it's 10, your brain is probably going to scream at you and say it's actually 25. Right? And in one of those videos I talk a little bit about how to write straight. You can ask any teacher in the world in any country and ask them, when you teach kids, students how to write straight, they're probably gonna tell them that they have to practice, all the stuff, right? But you can actually teach the kid to be able to write straight immediately because you take a paper. Right? You actually have to turn the paper a little bit in the angling, a little bit like that. Then you have to tilt your head to be able to determine if you write straight or not. Many kids who doesn't do that, because that's usually the case, they maybe sit straight up like that and then try to do it. And all you need to do is tell them to turn the paper and tilt their head, and they can determine if they write straight or not. It's actually a neurological basis for writing straight. But the funny thing is, if you're people who are, educating themselves to be a teacher for 3 years in education in university and such, they may not know that. They don't know that. When I started to investigate golf, for example, the golf swing mechanic, I realized pretty fast that people were teaching drills that doesn't work. None of the drills people teach in golf, morning golf or whatever, right? They don't work because they have to keep doing them. What you're supposed to do with the drill is when you apply it, you learn a skill. Once you learn the skill, you can do it. Like walking, talking, any such skill you do. So people believe incorrectly that all I need to do is to use drills in golf, or all I need to do is to listen to this dyslexia expert, and I think it's about 6 major theories about what people are dyslexic. But here's the interesting thing they don't know about. One, it's a memory problem. And the second thing is everybody across every country in the world reads the same way. So my approach works by teaching kids how other people read, and then start to organizing how they, supposed to read by creating, use these kind of papers for that and so on. So if you do this with your kid, at some point you'll teach them to organize the same way other people do that reads really well. And it works across the board. It's the only method, as far as I can tell, that will allow you to work with any kid who is dyslexic and will work with them. The question you ask is how much time it will take, because you're building a memory for them and how to do things. You're building a sequence of steps and organizing and building a pattern for them. Once they have the pattern, at some point they won't be dyslexic anymore, because they'll be reading like everybody else does. But if you ask people who are experts in the field of dyslexia, they don't understand it's a memory problem. Two, they will dismiss the notion immediately because it doesn't conform to establish consensus in the field of dyslexia. Same thing happens in golf. People in golf, for example, two pros, like Ballard and such, teaching the connection, and they lose the connection and don't know why. They can never have it. And the reason why is because of the modern golf grip. They put the thumb on the shaft like this. Now you're stuck. You can't have connection. You're going to lose it all the time. Second thing is that the golf guru gurus and such doesn't understand the golf swing mechanic, because people start believing secrets in golf, by the way, and other places. And everything has a neurological basis for it, and that means that there is a skill set that you need to have. And it works for the golf swing, but if you use them on the golf course, it won't work, because of, So basically everybody teaches you wrong in golf. And if you go into the field of dyslexia, there's going to be some methods out there. And the problem is that they're going to run into a problem sooner or later, because they're going to try to fix your kid's dyslexia with brute force apportions in some ways. And they won't understand you actually have to be just doing a few simple things over and over again until your kid can do it. Once your kid can start doing that and spell a few words in the proper order and organized according to how other people read, they don't understand that you have to actually do it this way. It will always work. A few years back, I was in the next town here. I worked with a kid who was 15 at the time, and he was playing basketball, and he was, having difficulties with reading, and doing poorly at school, basically, right? I came back for a follow-up because his sister, which I also worked with, needed a little bit extra. He was done. One session, he was done, right? And he told me the story when I came back for a follow-up. He said, I aced every test, he said. You been here? And I just went to school and I aced everything. Okay, cool. I said, good. Yeah, but my classmate told me and asked me how I cheated. Okay. And my teacher too. You see, or not? Feel me, as some people say. You hear what I'm saying? Is that instead of asking a question, okay, hey, you haven't done so well on tests and now you're acing it, what happened? They don't ask that question. What did you do? They don't ask you that question. They will just go into, you're cheating, you fucking asshole. No, I'm not. I met this guy and he helped me with my difficulty with reading, and I'm acing everything. People don't understand there is a skill set you need to have. This is what memory is. What is 5 times 5? Is it 10? And your brain will go, no, it's 25. That's how your memory operates. There's only one answer that can be correct. And hopefully they teach you the proper answer. So because you don't need to calculate. All you hear is 5 times 5, boom, 25 pops up. You don't need to calculate it, right? This is how memory operates. But people in the field of dyslexia and such, they don't talk about that because they don't understand that. There is an organization people use when they read, and so you ask anyone who is an expert of dyslexia, you ask them a very simple, direct question: how do you understand what you're actually reading? They don't know. They can't explain it. So when I started researching the golf swing, and it didn't take long before I realized people teaching golf didn't understand it. And I was like, okay, and I couldn't ask anyone, right? Couldn't go to any tuber like Tiger Woods. Hey Tiger, how does the golf swing? Because he doesn't know. Still doesn't, after his career is over. So I had to, investigate, test things. I'm very pragmatic in this way. I'm not explaining why this works the way I do things. All the stuff I'm just asking people to, apply it, and they will find out that it works. And one of the interesting things about them is as long as things are a problem, my kid has a problem with dyslexia. I call this guy in, that's me, and he worked with my kid, and now my kid is not dyslexic. It's a fucking miracle, man. They don't do that. And they go like, hey kid, can you read now? Yeah, okay, cool. But according to every expert in dyslexia, that's impossible, because they will tell you at some point, you have to understand that dyslexia is for life. And I'm like, no. That just means you don't understand something. And how it works. And how to teach kids to overcome the dyslexia is to apply, this video down below. Watch them, apply it. It's gonna work. Just a question of, if you're lucky, your kid have one of the organizational things. They have everything, but it's not organized properly. That will teach your kid to organize it, and you will have fast results, like the kid I work with in their town. The second case of memory problem is that the function, because most people don't understand how stuff works. In the brain alone, you have at least 5 centers processing visual information, because you have to learn to see things, right? And when if you have a kid, when they're a baby, you probably did something like point at something and said lamp, and the kid turned their head as a baby, and they would get it. That was fun. Oh, there's something out there, and it's light, it's bright and shiny. They didn't understand that. Now, if you're a parent, you did that until at some point the kids stopped going giddy about it. They maybe turned their head still, but was like, okay. They stopped doing that. They don't teach you that as in parent guidebooks. You're actually teaching your baby how to have a memory about things, and at some point they can pour it in and understand how it works, and they can learn to see things and so on. Because you have to actually process information, because we see, hear, and feel. And feel is actually it's actually sensations we have. What is this? Feels kind of funny. We're not blowing. That's the sensor system, and you have to make sense of what that is. Is it the wind, or is it a big giant blowing thing out there in the world? Imagine a few thousand years ago, oh, there's a lot of wind today. The giants are blowing wind. Right? Makes sense a few thousand years ago. Not today it doesn't, but back then it made sense to make shit up. And then if enough people believe it, there are giants out there blowing wind. And I go, what kind of wind are they blowing? This way or that way? And the people 3,000 years ago, they go, well, we didn't think about that. So, what should I say about that? It just illustrates that if we don't know what we assume we know, we become maybe an expert in the field, because all the information you know about makes you an expert. The problem is what happens if the information that actually works you don't know about. Because your brain, has stored all this information about stuff. And once new information comes in that contradicts all that, your brain doesn't change its information by default. It actually reacts to new information because it doesn't fit pre-existing knowledge, which is one of the major issues with, climate change and other things, people out there, The interesting thing is that you can actually take someone who is a member of, there's actually people out there in the world that believe that the planet Earth is flat. But one, they don't understand the basis of gravity, which they interact with every day, because gravity works in a particular way. You can send them up in space to the space station. The Earth is flat. They can see that the Earth is round. They can go around it and never go. That's kind of weird. It seems to be wrong. But here's the thing, once they go back to planet Earth, do you think what's going to happen? They're going to change their mind back to flat Earth again, because who are their friends? All the friends they have, conspiracy people that believe the same thing, and they're going to, Earth is flat again. Up in space is round, but that's probably an issue with the windows in the space shuttle or space station. No, it's not. Think about it. If all your friends are telling you the same things, your kids is dyslexic and it's for life, what are you going to believe as a parent? Some parents doesn't take that. They seek everything out and try everything. And the good fortune for you as a parent, watch this video, apply it for your kid, and you will teach them to overcome their dyslexia. Because what I do is to develop methods and approaches that actually works. Because I don't care about what people think about stuff. I don't care if they're an expert on stuff. I check things out, build something that's stable and works, and once it works, I present it to people. And the reason why I do this today is because I have an illness called Mecfs, which means I have an energy recovery problem. That means I get, people call it brain fog, they call it long COVID nowadays. Your body doesn't produce energy the way it's supposed to, and I had it for soon 25 years. And it's getting worse, so I can't work. So instead of, writing a book about it, because that would take too long, and if you're dyslexic, you won't read it anyway, kind of dyslexic humor in this case, is that if you're a parent, apply that, it will work. If you ask experts in the field of dyslexia to watch them, they will tell you, oh, that's kind of a rubbish, because they don't understand their own field. That's the problem with consensus and a lot of experts. The information they have is incorrect. They can't tell you anything else. So if you're a parent, apply it, it'll work. And we'll have fun doing it also. Hey? That's good. Anyway, I just wanted to drop this so you can, spread the word. If you don't have a kid that's dyslexic, maybe you know someone who is, and you can, point them there and they can watch them and apply. It costs nothing. I don't charge any money for it. So, yeah.